Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. iOS 27 Developer Beta 1 is here and I installed it on my 17 Pro Max to show you the top new features in this update. There are a lot of exciting stuff to see in this video, so without further ado, let's jump in. Let's start with the lock screen, and here I'm going to show you the top two changes. Both of them are located under the Wallpapers page. Starting with the iOS 27 wallpapers, here's how they look, and you have three default colors to choose from. The second change is the ability to create your own wallpapers using the image playground feature, which is located at the top carousel. Tapping on it reveals a floating card with the ability to choose between 3 or 4 different styles. You have animation, illustration, sketch, or you can use ChatGPT if you want. Here you have the library, which includes the created wallpapers. You can also attach a photo from your camera or choose one from your library. So let me create an example to show you how it works in action. In this example, I'm asking Image Playground to create an image of a road with mountains on one side and a lake on the other with a classic car driving by. So let's tap on send and see what's gonna happen. First, you get this amazing animation that looks like a liquid glass bubble with a progress bar showing over here. So let's give it some time to see how it works. It created the image and here is how it looks. You can also describe a change, which will take you back to the chat. You can revert back to the image like this. Here you can share it, and under the ellipses, you have things like add caption, report a problem, delete, duplicate, or copy. And under library, you can see the created image, so you can get back to it at any time. Let me also try to create an image by attaching one from my gallery. In the second example, I picked a photo of myself, asking it to create a black and white photo of me riding a horse. So let's tap on send to see what's gonna happen. And by the way, you can play around with the bubble while it's loading, which looks really nice. Unfortunately, I got an error message this time. It says an error occurred creating this image. So let me try ChatGPT and give it one more chance. This time it says unable to use that description with the ChatGPT. So I'm not sure if it doesn't work with humans or it's still buggy because it's the developer beta 1. So let's wait and see what's gonna happen in the future. But anyways, here is the other wallpaper I created using this feature. I can select from my library, tap on the tick button to apply it immediately to my lock screen. The last top feature I'm gonna show you in the lock screen, when you pinch to zoom to extend your wallpaper, the AI automatically fill in the gaps and you get a haptic feedback while doing this. But when you reach a certain level, you get a bigger blur around the wallpaper with 2 buttons at the bottom. One of them is to extend your wallpaper using AI, and this blurry area is the part that the AI will generate. So let's tap on extend to see how it works. You get a progress bar here at the bottom that you can cancel at any time. But as you see, the feature is buggy and doesn't always work. The home screen also got multiple tweaks. The most notable ones is the updated edit and done buttons. They are now using icons instead of text, but functionality wise, they are pretty much the same. Apple also updated some of the app icons. They either got different colors, more contrast, or liquid glass elements. And here is a side-by-side comparison with iOS 26. One of the examples is the App Store. You can see a more saturated blue color. Books looks slightly different as well. I can see also more contrast in the Calculator app. Let's keep going. The Files app also got a slightly different color or more vibrant color in comparison. Find My has more contrast to make the icon stand out. Fitness looks exactly the same. And when you go to Maps, now the base under the navigation arrow is made of glass instead of this white ring. Also, the Mail app has more saturated color, and so on and so forth. Now let's talk about liquid glass, which got one of the most requested features, and I hope all manufacturers adapt in the future, which is the ability to adjust your liquid glass intensity by going to settings. On a side note, when you go to settings now, you can see if there is any indexing in progress to let you know if your phone is doing something in the background, and it says you can use your phone normally. But let's jump to the display and brightness settings. You'll notice here that all the liquid glass settings are gone from this page, and it only starts from the brightness because currently we have a brand new menu called Appearance, which includes anything related to the appearance including a new reduce motion toggle instead of going to accessibility to enable it. But anyways, let's focus on the liquid glass settings. Here you get an animated image to show you how it looks while scrolling. Then you have the slider with 3 dots. Each one represents a default value, and you get a haptic feedback when you reach each one, but you don't have to stick to these 3 values. You can place the slider anywhere on the screen to get exactly the intensity you are looking for. To give you an idea about the difference, here is how the notification center looks with a colorful wallpaper and the slider set to the lowest and the highest values to get an idea about the difference between the two in the readability. And here's another quick comparison for the control center. This is the lowest value and here is the highest. Both are good, but definitely the tinted option is more readable. So that's it with liquid glass. Now let's talk about the new AI editing tools in Apple Photos. So let me pick one from my gallery, then tap on edit. The first thing you will notice here is the cleanup tab is now called Tools with the Apple Intelligence logo, and it houses 3 different features. Cleanup, which is the one we already have, but Apple says that it's now a lot smarter and handle more complex situations. First, we have this new picker at the top as if you are using an AI agent. You can choose between auto, fast for quick touch-ups, and high quality, best for detailed work. So let me choose high quality and highlight myself like this, and then tap on cleanup to see what's gonna happen. Here you have a progress bar with the ability to cancel at any time. So let's wait for it. Unfortunately, I got an error message. As you see here, there was an error cleaning up this photo. Please try again later. So let me give it another chance and clean up again. Actually, I tried 5 times behind the camera to get it work, and here's the end result. It cleaned this side perfectly well, but it missed my hand. So let me try to highlight my hand separately and see what's gonna happen. So it doesn't really handle complex situations as claimed by Apple, but I know that we are still in beta. Let me try to set it to high quality and remove my hand one more time. Clean up. So let's give it some time and see if it can remove my hand properly or not. And here you go. This time it did work perfectly well. My son's shoulder is perfect, and it looks impressive in my opinion. Back to the editing tools, the second feature we have is extend. This one will allow you to zoom in and out like this and fill in the gaps. So let's see if this one works properly. I got multiple error messages at first, but it did work at the end, and here's the final result. Let me tap on the tick button to pinch to zoom. It looks very convincing. I don't have any problems with it. Let's tap to see the original. So this is the original one, and here is the gap it filled using AI. But to me, the killer feature in this whole set is the perspective reframe. It works perfectly well, and I'm really impressed by this feature. It's very innovative. So let me show you how it works. You can change the camera perspective like this, as if you have a panorama shot. So let me adjust the perspective this way and then tap on reframe to show you how it looks. This one seems to be pretty stable. It always works without any error messages, and here is the adjusted perspective. It has some errors here around the hair, but I'm still impressed by this feature, and this is how the original image looks. This is the adjusted one, and here is the original. And here's another example to show you how impressive this feature could be. I will adjust the perspective like this and show you the end result. And here you go. This is the final result. It filled in the gaps really well, and you can see the original photo. There is a big difference between the two. So these are the top features in Apple Photos, and for those who are waiting for the new Siri features, unfortunately it's not part of this beta yet. Once I went to settings and then Siri, I got this message asking me to join the waitlist if I want to get the new Siri, which I did, but I'm not sure when exactly Apple will release the updated version. But currently everything is exactly the same as before, including visual intelligence. Before jumping to the next chapter, if you like the wallpapers you've seen in this video or any of my previous iOS videos, they are available for download through my Patrons page. Plus, I just uploaded 40 new wallpapers that you can see right now on the screen. If you want to give it a try, you will find the download link in the description. And now let's get back to iOS 27. The next app we have is Calendar, and now you have the ability to create events using natural language. You will see this updated text box that says title or describe event. So as an example, I will ask it to set a meeting with, and then specify the person name. Once I do this, I get the suggested contacts here at the bottom. Then I will specify the location. You can also see the locations suggested here at the bottom. Once I tap on it, my calendar gets updated. Then I have the duration, which is also a suggestion. And then I will specify the time at 11 a.m. So as you see, my calendar event is now created by just typing some text at the top. This will take us to the Shortcuts app that got a similar feature. You can also create shortcuts using natural language. When you tap on the new button, you get a totally different interface with some suggestions here at the top. So I will try to create a shortcut to enable the Wi-Fi when I reach home. So let's see how it works. You get this liquid glass animation that looks really nice. And now it's looking up for automations, and it says here, which home location would you like to use for this automation? So I will pick the first one. Then the automation has been created. Turn on Wi-Fi when you arrive at your selected home location. And here is the shortcut. When you get back to your main page, you can see it over here. And this is a really, really cool feature. Image Playground also got updated, and now it uses more powerful models for creating images. As I showed you earlier, when I created this lock screen wallpaper, it was very realistic. And as you see, the interface is much simpler. When you compare this to the previous version, it's a day and night difference. When you tap on the plus button, you get the same exact text box I showed you in the lock screen. But here you have more styles to choose from. You have animation, illustration, sketch, Genmoji, and the ChatGPT, in addition to the ability to choose the aspect ratio, which is the only two differences between this one and the one you get in the lock screen. Next, the camera app. It got a brand new layout that makes it a lot easier to use while taking photos. And here's a quick side-by-side comparison with iOS 26. You can see that all the options at the top are now centered and bigger. Plus, we got this brand new grid at the bottom right corner that makes everything manageable with one hand instead of stretching your finger to change anything in the settings. You can also see that this card is expandable. It starts with 6 options and you can stretch it up to see the rest. Here you have everything you might need without the need to push the buttons at the top. So for example, here you have the flash, the depth, live, timer, exposure, styles, aspect ratio, night mode, shared library, grid, level, and the format. And when you tap on any of the options, they also expand at the bottom of the screen, which makes it a lot easier for you to manage. Here you have quick toggle for the level, which is new. And when you tap on the grid, you can add it or remove it. Also, when you tap on the exposure, you see a much bigger slider in comparison. So the one we used to have is harder because it was very close to the home bar, but now there is some space which makes it easier for you to slide left and right. By this, I covered the top new features I managed to get my hands on in this update, but there are a massive number of other changes that require a whole separate video to talk about. On a side note, Apple revealed even more features that I couldn't get on my 17 Pro Max just yet, like the new one-tap suggested actions in Apple Messages based on the conversation context. When you call a business, the phone app will proactively suggest information from your Apple apps so it's there when you need it. For example, when you call the airline, it automatically picks the flight number or confirmation code from the Mail app and put it right in front of you if you need it, which is very similar to the Magic Queue feature we have on Pixel phones. In Safari, we got 2 new features that will make it simpler and smarter. It can use Apple Intelligence to tame your tabs by organizing them into topics. Safari analyzes each page, identifies similarities, and then brings related tabs together, making it easier to find what you're looking for. The second feature is called Notify Me, which is already on my phone, so let me show you how it works. Sometimes we keep tabs open because we are waiting for something. In this example, I'm looking for a specific Toyota Camry which I don't see in the list. So instead of opening Safari, refreshing the page myself to see the new models, I can ask it to monitor the website and notify me once it's available. To achieve this, you need to go to the page menu, then notify me. Then it will ask you to describe the change. You have this edit button to modify the schedule. You can choose between daily, weekly, or monthly and pick the time you want. In this example, I will ask it to notify me once it finds a Toyota Camry 2020 Sport trim, and you can see that it's loading here at the top right corner. Once it's ready, you can tap on the tick button, and later if you want to delete or modify the notification, you can go to the same page one more time, and here's the current active one. I can delete it or modify it if I want. And lastly, in Maps, Flyover is getting an incredible boost using aerial imagery combined with vision intelligence models. Everything is rendered in stunning, sharp detail. So that was a quick preview for the top features in iOS 27. I know you are expecting a detailed video covering each and every change, but unfortunately my time is very limited because I'm moving back to Egypt, which is a huge step, and I only have a few days to pack my whole stuff and start traveling. On a side note, Apple talked about massive performance improvements with iOS 27, so I will keep an eye on it and update you in my future videos. I also would like to thank each and every one of you for the amazing support you've given me for that whole period. Thank you for the 200k subscribers. Maybe I don't reply to all the comments, but I read all of them every single day, and that's what keeps me moving. So thank you again, and see you in the next video.